My name is Magnus Chase. If you are reading this, I am probably dead. Again. And yes, this is the story of how I died. But don't worry, that's not the worst part of this tale. Midgard, Earth, the beginning of all chaos. Since my mom passed away 2 years ago, I've been living on the streets of Boston. I have no home, no family, and no money. But I have 2 friends, Blitz, a short man with odd clothing who loves to complain about fashion, and Hearth, a tall deaf man who's smart and always has a plan. We live simply, trying to survive in this tough city. If you ask me, my life was straightforward. Until the day I learned I was a demigod. That morning I heard that someone was looking for me. Randolph Chase, my uncle. I knew he was wealthy and had a big house, but I had never wanted to meet him. However, curiosity eventually led me to his home. A 6-story brownstone with gargoyle statues adorning its corners. Inside, the first floor was filled with mahogany furniture, oriental rugs, oil paintings, crystal chandeliers, and marble floors. I went up to the second floor. A library smelling of leather lined one wall, glass cases displaying Viking helmets and corroded axes owned by Uncle Randolph lined another. In his study room, a desk was cluttered with ancient scrolls, weighed down by pouches of patterned stones, and what looked like a tombstone in one corner. That's when I heard something that changed my life. "Magnus," Randolph said, "you're the child of a Norse god, and you must find the magical sword before the fire giant destroys the world." I thought he was insane, but there was something in his tone that made me listen. He took me to Longfellow Bridge, where things got even stranger. As soon as I found the sword, a fire giant named Surt appeared. We fought. I died. Yes, literally died. And I managed to drag Surt into the river with me. I thought that was the end of the story. Wrong. It was just the beginning. Valhalla, alive again in the land of fallen heroes. I woke up in Valhalla, a super luxurious hotel for those who die honorably. Samira Al-Abbas, a Valkyrie who saved me, told me I was now an Einherji, a warrior prepared for Ragnarok. However, my presence in Valhalla caused controversy. The gods felt I wasn't a true hero. They expelled Sam and started questioning why I was there. Even though Valhalla was cool, I knew I couldn't stay. My mission to find the Sword of Summer and stop Ragnarok was far from over. Midgard, Earth. Valhalla's recycling drop-off at Fenway Park. With the help of Blitz and Hearth, I escaped Valhalla and returned to Midgard, Earth, specifically through a recycling chute that dropped us off at Fenway Park. That's when I learned Blitz and Hearth were more than just friends. Blitz was a skilled dwarf, and Hearth was an elf, highly adept at rune magic. They had been protecting me for a long time because they knew I was the son of Frey, the god of peace and fertility. Frey wasn't a warrior god, so I didn't inherit great powers like Thor's or Odin's children. Instead, I could heal wounds and talk to my sword, which, by the way, had a personality of its own. Together, we began a journey to save the 9 worlds. We had to find a way to bind Fenrir, the monstrous wolf tied to Lyngvi Island. Fenrir was the key to Ragnarok, and if he was freed, the 9 worlds would be destroyed. Niflheim, the frozen world of ice. After leaving Fenway Park, the 3 of us wandered through parks, searching for information about the whereabouts of the Sword of Summer, which had disappeared after I fell into the Charles River. Blitz and Hearth shared stories of how they once accidentally ended up in Niflheim, a world filled with ice, while walking around Kendall Square. Midgard, Earth, deep-sea expedition, and Harold's deadly dream. We got word that the Sword of Summer had been swept away by the river current and possibly drifted into the waters of Jotunheim, guarded by Jormungand, world serpent. The only person who could take me, Blitz, and Hearth there was Harold, a quirky guy with his tourist boat. While we were there, we bumped into Sam, who quickly joined the team. When we finally met Jormungand, I managed to strike a deal to get my sword back. Success! And as a bonus, the sword could also transform into a necklace. Midgard, Earth, ducks. Next, We needed to head to Nidavellir to meet a skilled dwarf who could craft a binding rope for Fenrir the wolf. Call me crazy, but I assumed the world tree was, well, a tree, not a line of bronze ducks. For some reason, the duck statues looked more intimidating than usual. Blitz explained that Yggdrasil didn't always have to look like a tree. It could be something that connected worlds. And somehow, these bronze ducks were the most active portal in Midgard. Incredible, right? Out of all the epic things in Norse mythology, I had to deal with ducks. Nidavellir, Nabi's bar. After passing through Yggdrasil's portal, I won't go into details, it involved a lot of vomiting and feeling like I was hit by a truck. We arrived in Nidavellir, the land of dwarves. Blitz said we needed to go to Nabi's bar to meet Junior, a dwarf capable of crafting the rope for Fenrir. To get it, Blitz had to duel Junior in crafting the greatest artifact. Miraculously, Blitz won the duel with a bit of cheating, which apparently was allowed as long as it wasn't caught by the opponent. Alfheim, the land of elves. Meanwhile, Sam and Hearth went to Alfheim, Hearth's homeland, which seemed beautiful but was full of family political poison. Here, Hearth confronted his family, particularly his abusive father. I saw another side of Hearth, a person who had endured so much suffering but remained strong. He gained new rune magic powers, and I realized he was one of the bravest people I'd ever met. Jotunheim. Visiting the giant's fortress. After finishing our business in Nidavellir, Blitz and I headed to Jotunheim to find Thor, who, according to information, knew the location of Lyngvi Island, where Fenrir the wolf was bound. Sam and Hearth rejoined our team. Thor indeed knew the location of the island, but before that, he tasked us with retrieving his lost weapon, hidden in the fortress of the giant Geirrod. I assumed the lost weapon was Mjolnir, but it turned out to be a spear. Thor kept his promise and sent us to where we needed to be. Helheim, a conversation with Hel. I stood alone before a massive obelisk in Bunker Hill, surrounded by an eerie atmosphere. Thor said he would send me wherever I needed to be. Why was I here? And where were my friends? Then a terrifying woman approached me. It was Hel, the goddess of death, offering a tempting deal. I could live peacefully with my mother in her world. The offer was alluring, but I knew I couldn't give up, and it wasn't what my mother would want. I raised my sword and told her to leave. I wouldn't make any deal with her. Vanaheim, my father's world. It felt like I came to my senses again. This was Vanaheim, the world of the Vanir gods, including my father, Frey. I had never met Frey directly, but here I could feel his presence. The forests in this world were filled with strange magical energy. I received a vision of Frey giving me final clues for my mission. I also began to understand my powers as his son. I could manipulate life around me, heal wounds, and communicate with my sword. Lyngvi Island, the final battle. The grand battle took place on Lyngvi Island, where Fenrir was bound. Surt attempted to free Fenrir, while my friends and I tried to stop him. I used the Sword of Summer to counter Surt's power and send him back to Muspelheim, the world of fire giants, while reinforcing Fenrir's bonds. In the process, I nearly lost my life again. But in the end, we succeeded in preventing Ragnarok, at least for now. After the battle, after everything, I returned to Valhalla, bringing with me a story of courage and teamwork. Even though I felt like a fake hero, my friends assured me that I had done the right thing. So, that's my story. I died, came back to life, and tried to save the world. For now, Ragnarok is still looming, and I know my journey isn't over. But hey, at least I have friends who will always have my back, and that's more than enough.